So guys, what is going on? I hope you guys are well. Hope you guys are staying safe. Hope everything's good in the hood. So guys, Anthony Joshua, Eddie Hearn has come out and said Anthony Joshua wants to demolish Tyson Fury. And he believes him. Now, listen, let me go through a few things. First, apparently this fight is confirmed by Eddie Hearn that this fight will happen in Saudi Arabia on 14th August. There was a lot of back and forth, and I made a video about it saying I don't know what's going on and there's still issues. I'm still not, although Eddie Hearn said this fight is definitely confirmed, we know that Tyson Fury has not signed the contract yet because of the fact that he's not happy with the guarantee. He wants to be assured that the money's there. The money, the money will go into his bank account. He wants to be very sure before putting pen to paper. And you can't blame him. It's obviously a massive amount of money, and he wants to make sure that he gets that guarantee before, he puts pen to paper, which is fair. He wants to know that he's going to get paid, so, that's obviously, he's got that right. He's got that right. Obviously Joshua and Eddie Hearn, they trust the people that they're working with because they know that they've done the Ruiz fight, whereas Tyson Fury's never been to Saudi Arabia, in the sense that he's never worked with them in a boxing event. I know he's done some stuff in WWE, but that's different. I'm pretty sure WWE took care of that. But in terms of him, he wants to be assured that the money is there. So yeah, it looks like the money will be there, and it looks like the fight will happen, and it looks like Tyson Fury's just making sure everything's good from in terms of him getting paid. So yeah, I think the fight's almost as good as done. And I can't wait, because I've been waiting for this fight for a very long time. It's the biggest fight in British boxing history. Let's be honest, it's a massive fight between two great heavyweight champions. One's a unified champion holding 3 belts. One's the other belt holder, the WBC belt holder, the most prestigious belt out there. And it's for undisputed. It's for all the marbles. Whoever wins this is crowned the best heavyweight in the world. It's a legacy-defining fight, because whoever wins this fight will be the greatest heavyweight of this era. So this is definitely, unless, Wilder was to come back and he ends up beating both guys. But if Fury does it, you have to say that he would have beaten all the top guys of this era. I will still like Fury to fight more top-level guys, because I think his resume is good on the top end, but his resume, he hasn't got the thickness of a Joshua resume. I think Joshua's resume is a lot thicker. I would like to see Tyson Fury fight a lot more credible guys, than he's fought. He's only fought really 2 guys that you can say were top level in Klitschko and Wilder. What's his third best win? Chisora. So again, I'm not sure. I'd like to see Tyson Fury fight. Even if he was to beat AJ, I'd like to see him fight Joyce. I'd like to see him fight Ruiz. I'd like to see him fight, many other guys. There's many guys out there, that he could potentially fight, just to thicken up that resume. Because I just think 3 fights, some of the greats have had many fights. Look how many great fights Ali had. He's had so many good fights. Even someone like Foreman, great fights. He was involved in some great fights against some legendary champions. Win, lose or draw, whatever, it doesn't really matter. But the fact is, he's been involved in some big fights. Tyson Fury's been involved in 2 big fights, and this is probably his 3rd one. But someone with the talent of Tyson Fury needs to fight a lot more top-level guys, a lot more top 10 guys, and thicken up that resume. Because like I said, I believe he beats everyone. Now, I want to come on to what Eddie Hearn said, that Joshua wants to demolish Tyson Fury. I think Joshua wants to do a job on Tyson Fury. I don't believe he will, but I believe inside he wants to do a job on Tyson Fury. And what I mean by that is, Tyson Fury, for me, has been saying a lot of things about AJ all over for so many years. For so many years, Tyson Fury's been niggling away at AJ and having a dig at him, and I just think AJ's at the point now where he wants to go in there and he wants to put it on Tyson Fury. He wants to give Tyson Fury some of those big right hands, big left hooks, uppercuts. He wants to let them go if he can land, because Fury's a very, very good evasive fighter, and he's very difficult to land on, especially land combination punches like Joshua does, because Joshua is a combination puncher. He likes to land punches in bunches, and that's going to be very hard to do against someone like Tyson Fury. Also, Fury's very evasive. Wilder, for me, when it comes to single shots, is a lot faster than Joshua. He's a lot more sharper, more explosive. Where Joshua, you can see his punches coming more. Now Joshua is the better boxer. He sets his punches up better. Maybe he could. You know, I have seen, especially against Povetkin, I have seen Joshua become very intelligent and become a guy that is very good at setting up traps. And he was doing that for Povetkin, and he eventually landed a huge right hand that wobbled Povetkin. Maybe he could do something like that with Fury. I just think Fury's a lot smarter. He's bigger. He's got longer reach. He's the taller guy. So Fury's got all the physical advantages. You know, the naturally bigger guy. So it's going to be a lot harder to do it with someone like Tyson Fury, because like I said, because of the movement, the evasiveness, the fact that he's got a very good boxing IQ, the fact that he's bigger as well. You know, if Tyson Fury is a freak in more ways than one. So, you know, I do think Tyson Fury is going to take some beating, especially where he is from a mental standpoint. I just don't think Tyson Fury now is a guy that is confident. I think Tyson Fury was a guy that was confident from the get-go, but I think now there's belief behind that confidence. He's beaten some of the best of his era, and I think he's really believes that, you know, he is the number one guy. Now, sometimes believing that way and underestimating your opponent, and a lot of people think he is underestimating Joshua. A lot of people do think that he's thinking that Joshua is going to be an easy fight. I don't think so. I don't think Tyson Fury believes that this is an easy fight for him. I don't think he's ever thought that. I always thought it was a game plan from Tyson Fury to get into AJ's head by trying to... I think he feels that AJ gets... I'm not sure AJ reacts to it anymore. But if you look at before, when Tyson Fury used to say some of the things that he used to say, he used to get a reaction from AJ. And I think Tyson Fury is trying to get into Joshua's head. I think Joshua over the years, though, has kind of understood what Tyson Fury's doing. And Tyson Fury recently, you know, AJ gave an interview about it. The fact that he's saying he's drinking 12 pints. You know, he goes, I don't believe it. He's obviously not drinking 12 pints. You know, and he's training very hard. He's just saying it, Fury. I don't believe he's doing that. I believe he's working very hard. He's in great shape. A lot of people look at Tyson Fury and say, oh, no, he's not in great shape. Look at him. Tyson Fury aesthetically is never going to be in great shape. Tyson Fury's never looked aesthetically. Even when he fought Klitschko, I think that's the best I ever saw him. Even then, he wasn't aesthetically beautiful, aesthetically like Joshua. He's never going to be like that. His body's just not like that. His body's a, you know, it's a different type of physique. It's not really, he doesn't look like a boxer. But with the body that he's got, he's very elusive, very fast. You know, you wouldn't look at someone like Tyson Fury, his body shape and body type, and look at him and think he'd be really fast and nearly nimble and really hard to hit. You know, you wouldn't think that, but he is. So yeah, I don't think looking at Tyson Fury's physique don't mean anything. Physique don't mean anything. Tyson Fury with that physique, same physique, beat Wilder. You know, I actually think Tyson Fury is in great shape, great fighting shape. And I personally think Fury's going to take some beating, man. He's going to take some beating. I know Joshua's angry and Joshua's got that fire in him. And Joshua, one thing about Joshua is very dedicated. I think he's more dedicated than even Fury. I think Fury's just naturally more gifted. And here's what I'll say. I think in the lower weight classes, if you live badly, it's harder, because when you blow up weight, it's harder for you to go make weight. It becomes harder for you to get down to the weight safely, and it just becomes harder, especially as you get older, if you don't live the life. With a heavyweight, they don't have to make weight. So they don't have to come in at a specific weight. Obviously, they have an ideal weight set out for them that they know that they want to be at. They don't want to be too heavy. Otherwise, someone like Fury, he's got a speed, evasiveness, he's going to be a lot slower. So, but still, it helps the fact that they don't have to make weight. You know, and that's why I feel Tyson Fury was able to come back. I actually think if it was like a welterweight that got out of shape the way Fury got out of shape and just let himself go, right? I just don't think I think it would have been a lot difficult for them to get right back to the top. I think for a heavyweight, because of the fact that Tyson's bigger than everybody and they don't have to make weight, I think it's probably easier. Not to say what he had to go through was easy, because it wasn't. He had to go through a lot, Fury, to get to where he got to. But in terms of watching this fight, I think we're obviously gonna, the number one heavyweight is gonna be crowned, but not just that. There's a lot on the line here. There's a lot on the line for both guys. Like I said, legacy here is on the line, because whoever wins is gonna be go down as the greatest heavyweight of this era. And Fury, after beating Klitschko and Wilder the way he's beat him, if he was to lose to Joshua, he'd lose everything. People will just say, oh, he didn't fight that many top quality guys. He fought two guys. One was old and one was a guy that wasn't that great. You see that I can see the excuses if he was, or I'll see people putting him down if he loses. If Joshua loses, people will say, oh, well, Joshua, he didn't have a great chin. He's been knocked out before, so again, there's a lot riding on this fight, because whoever loses this fight has a great chance of being underrated. Especially if it's Joshua. I think if he was to lose, I definitely think that people won't give him the credit in years to come for his career if he was to lose, because of the fact that he lost to Ruiz and he's a lot more vulnerable. Especially if he was to get knocked out by Fury, I definitely think that even though Joshua's got a great resume and a better resume than any heavyweight in this era, I actually think his achievements in the sport will actually be undermined and not given enough credit that he'd deserve if he was to get blown away by Fury. So that's why there's a lot on the line here for both guys. And neither guy wants to lose to the other guy, because like I said, they both know what's at stake here. There's a lot at stake. A lot at stake. A lot at stake. And I can't wait. And one thing about both these guys that I like, that they're both British, but they're not afraid of fighting one another. They're not afraid of losing to one another. They want to fight one another. They want to test themselves against each other. They want to beat one another. They want to do a number on one another. So that's why this makes it a great fight. And I can't wait. Can you imagine the press conferences? Can you imagine Tyson Fury trying to play mind games with AJ? Can you imagine AJ biting back? It's just going to be epic. It's going to be great. It's just going to be what this country needs, in my opinion. And I hope it happens August 14th, because to be honest with you, I am skeptical about us getting a big crowd here, and I'm not sure whether, they're already talking about, potentially the virus cases maybe going up, especially there's another variants coming in. So I'm not sure. So hopefully this fight can get made as soon as possible, because you don't know, with the situation we're living in, currently, we just don't know what's going to go off in a couple of months' time. So hopefully they can make this fight ASAP and get this fight on, so we get the biggest fight in British boxing history, because I really want to see it. I really want to see it, and I don't want this fight to be derailed. So hopefully they can make it as quickly as possible. But leave your thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments section, guys. And guys, remember to please like, share, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.